I want to find that superstar early. I don't want to hire somebody and then see how it goes, and then from that, make adjustments. No, I'll rather hire two. From the get-go, within a couple of days, I'll know who's better, who's going to do this work faster, who's more responsive, who's going to even turn in earlier. And from that, right away, I know this one's great, this one's all right. If I can keep both, I'll keep both. If not, I'll move forward with the best one.
Welcome to my legal academy, helping lawyers work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life.
I love how you talk about create stellar teams to delegate work to. So how are you creating these stellar teams, and how are you identifying them, right? Because I know in the paralegal world, much like the lawyer world, there's different levels of attorneys, right? There's different knowledge, there's different experience, there's different expertise. Like you went ahead and took it like to the nth degree, but not every attorney thinks about it that way. Not every attorney is maybe that innovative or ambitious or tries to find a solution on their own, right? So, tell me a little bit how you create these, teams.
First, virtual, always. And the reason is the talent pool is much better when you're able to go from a 50-mile radius around your law firm to now maybe potentially national and potentially even international, which a lot of people don't look at. So that's one, the increased talent pool from a virtual talent pool. Second is we qualify people based on very specific criteria. Either we get them, if we have an influx of those applicants, then we get them to fill out a form for us to pretty much summarize exactly, what's their experience, how many years, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. And that way, in one shot, be able to kind of review those answers and pick and choose who we want to interview with. And then from that, I always hire in twos. I have a thing called rule of twos. There's some things you want to do two at a time. One is hiring, because I want to find that superstar early. I don't want to hire somebody and then see how it goes, and then from that, make adjustments. No, I'll rather hire two. From the get-go, within a couple of days, I'll know who's better, who's going to do this work faster, who's more responsive, who's going to even turn in earlier. And from that, right away, I know this one's great, this one's all right. If I can keep both, I'll keep both. If not, I'll move forward with the best one and continue doing that. And then the other thing is a lot of law firm owners, they go through hiring stages. Well, okay, we're doing well, all right, we're doing okay now. And as soon as somebody leaves or something happens, they go into the kind of recruiting stage. We don't do that. It's a big mistake. We're always constantly in a constant recruiting mode. Found that the best law firm owners are constantly hiring the best people at all times. So that means if we have a full-time recruiter who has a protocol, being on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, putting up ads or whatever, putting up job posts, to constantly find those A and B players, ideally just A players, constantly, 365 days a year. And we're always looking to hire. If you are, and I'll put the call to action, if you are paralegal or somebody in the legal field and you're looking for jobs, just find my name and find my email, send me an email. I'm always hiring across the 6 law firms, across 8 different companies. Just let me know. I'll be happy to be able to.
Yeah, we'll put it on the description and too, so that they don't have to search for you, Google search you. We'll make it easy for the listeners. You also have a mission to help lawyers scale and get back their life. And I feel like for me anyway, that hit home, right? Because that was the whole reason why I opened up my business. I was a recent mom. I said, no way, that's not happening. I'm not going to give her to a stranger. I want to raise my own child. That gave me my life back, right? Or that gave me, I guess, control of what I could and could not do in my calendar. And in essence, like you say, make more money doing it, right? Because you're happy, you're doing what you love, you found your niche, you're in your mode, and then you have no cap, right? You don't have to ask for the raise. You don't have to deal with all the other stuff that comes in with employment and things like that. So I'm interested to know how you did that. What made you think this is going to be our mission?
That goes into actually my book. I have a book called Virtual
I
Law.
love that book. I have it. You know that, right?
It's time to read it. It's time to read it. But I get into that in detail. And before we even get into the how-tos of the subtitle is how to run your law firm so it doesn't run you. Before we get to the how-tos, first we got to clean up your slate. That means the title of chapter 2 is how to eliminate distractions and stay focused in a busy world. So I was able to kind of narrow down the top 3 distractions that everybody has. Number 1 is their email inbox, especially with law firm owners. They're in their emails all day long. Big problem. Number 2 is social media. A lot of people spend countless hours on their social media. And then number 3 is a lot of people get the notifications on their phone. That pretty much those 3 really cover 80% of all the distractions we get in the world. Again, your emails, your social media, and your iPhone, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for each one, I'm just going to give you a gist of like the 80-20 most practical way to how to get control of your life for each of those. One is your email inbox. Your email box, you don't realize it, but most of the time when you're answering different people, usually you have like 80% of it's the same thing over and over. Maybe just saying at different times, in different ways, but we really analyze it's the same thing. So what I did, again, out of desperation, I basically created a system using a tool called Mixmax. That's basically a tool for Gmail that allows you to create templates and sequences out of your email communication. So to just say, if somebody asks me a question about this, I create a template out of that. So that next time somebody asks me the same question, I could just use a template to be able to provide the same optimized answer. Also, the other thing that it does is sequences. Let's just say a lot of times when I need something to be done, or if prospect or somebody emails me for something, or if I need a client to do something, I don't want to go back and follow up manually and 2 days later, hey, can you get this to me? Instead, one time I create a sequence which automatically says, hey, if this email does not reply back to in 2 business days, then go ahead and send this second email. And then if they don't respond back to that email, a third email, fourth email. So for all these different things that I know I need a response, I create sequences, and I just create it once and I send sequences out, which automatically the emails are coming straight from Gmail. So it looks like it's coming from me and it's able to follow for me. So I created those systems. And now I basically have my virtual team. At this point, I have about 4 or 5 people who answer my emails using different templates and sequences to answer those emails for me. That's number 1. Number 2 is social media. You're either a consumer or you're a producer. The wrong side is to be a consumer. That's where 90% of people spend their time. Not a good place to be long-term. You're going to get burned out. You're going to get over the flood of information. You're going to waste a lot of time. Instead, you want to be a producer. Well, which one do you want to be a producer on? I kind of break it down in the book. What's working best? You want to be a producer on just one platform. And ideally, all the other ones you eliminate. If you see yourself, you're a consumer, you literally cut out all the consumer ones. So that means for me, I don't get on TikTok. It's a big waste of time. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cut out.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to cut out Instagram and Facebook, and any ones that I'm coming on and being consumer, cutting out. And the third is iPhone. If you have an iPhone, one of iPhone's most underutilized and most undervalued features is a setting called focus mode. Yeah. If you go to your settings, you want to pull out, everybody can just pull out their phone right now. If you go to your settings, you'll see the 8th option you'll see is an option called focus. I don't want to get into it now, but that right there, if you just go on YouTube and search for like how to set up focus mode on your iPhone, there's a way to say, hey, during work hours or during these hours, I don't want to get any notifications from these apps, from these people, from other people, whatever, coming into my phone. And now what that means is throughout the day, I don't get any incoming notifications to me. That means my time is protected. Nobody can come and say, hey, can you do this? Can you look into this? Do this for me, whatever. I'm in control of my time. Whenever I click into my messages is when I see my text. Whenever I click into apps, that's when I see my notifications, etc. And now that kind of forces me to be in control of my time versus people controlling my time. So through those kind of completely being in control of my every minute that's spent, now like literally at this point it's like seconds are being optimized. And yeah, I think that's ultimately what it comes down to, controlling those distractions and being in control of your time.
Like people thought that I was crazy when I started putting my phone on silent because I don't even want to hear the vibration. And then I put it on do not disturb. So like it'll, like you said, with Google, especially if I have a Google Pixel, so it's a little different. But with Google, if it sees you have a current event, it'll automatically put your phone on do not disturb. So you will not get any calls, any notifications. So yeah, I mean, I love it. I do that with my time management courses. We include those similar things. I call them email maze because it is, you just go into this maze and you just get lost in it, right? But I love that you inserted the templates and things like that because that's super valuable.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're a lawyer and you're looking to work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life, right below this video, you'll find a link to book a call to speak to my team so we can tell you how we've been able to help over 500 law firm owners scale their law firm. Now back to the video.
So tell me a little bit about your coaching program, your community, which now I'm going to be a part of. So I'm excited about that. You're My Legal Academy.
Nice.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's basically the number one biggest and best community for lawyers and their teams. There are 4 aspects of this. Number 1 is community based. That means the community governs everything. It's a completely different mindset than like course. It's not a course, it's not a thing. It's kind of like community. That means from the community, you get all the resources and everything you need, the possibly ever need for your law firm there. That's the first part. Second, we have world-class instructors. So imagine for every specific subject when it comes to the legal world, we have top people like Eda, who can come and train our paralegals in our platform. So, that's the kind of expertise. The third part is, as I kind of mentioned, it's for lawyers and their teams. So that is pretty cool, kind of training all the team members that are part of these law firms. And then fourth, which is kind of like part of the long-term vision, is we're not just covering topics for law firm growth. I think law firm growth is important, but there's also other very important topics like health, mental health, taxes, the best business cards. There's so many different topics that can make lawyers and their teams optimized over time. We're going to be bringing on these instructors and things that come and advise on these things. So ultimately, the person whoever's part of this community becomes optimized, and everything flows from that. Then the success and the personal growth, everything kind of flows from that. Super exciting.
I know. I've been doing that. I've been including the mindset, because from going to the 9 to 5 to an entrepreneur, that's a complete mindset shift, right? You're no longer the employee dependent on whatever benefits they were offering, getting that steady paycheck. So it's a whole different mindset shift on all aspects. And also the learning curve, right? Like you explained in the beginning of the conversation, the learning curve of learning, okay, now what the hell am I doing? What am I going to do now? I opened up this business. Now what do I do? How do I get my clients? What's the marketing about? Like, how do I get people to know that I even exist at this point? So I went through that journey as well. So I felt it was really important because I do take continuing legal education courses. I'm actually going for my master's in August. So I still continue, my education. But nowhere do they ever include the mindset, right? That's super important, and that we are one of the top professions with anxiety and stress and substance abuse and Adderall use and all this good stuff, right? I meant that jokingly, but all these underlying issues that we don't really talk about, either because we're afraid or we think that people are going to think of us, differently or whatever the case may be. So I'm really excited about that addition coming into the My Legal Academy.
Totally. And everything flows from the person themselves. Once you focus on that and optimize yourself, then your entire life gets optimized from that.
I love it. Sam, you're just amazing. I just love your energy. I love everything about you. And I'm so excited to be part of your journey. Thank you for coming on the Let's Talk Paralegal podcast. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.
We have a bright future ahead of us. You'll be leading our paralegal pack.
I'm excited.
And I know sometimes it's like kind of hard to talk about yourself or your offer. For people that have been listening to you for some time and they haven't booked a time to be able to come to speak to you, can you give a little call to action why they should come and speak to you?
Oh, I'm the best. No, I'm just kidding. I think with my 20 plus years of experience, plus my personal experience and my personal journey, I bring something that maybe other coaches are not going to bring, right? I merge the worlds together. I'm multilingual, so I understand you more as a person, but I also understand your struggles as a professional, and I put the human back in humanity. So I feel like that personal touch you may not get anywhere else. Not that I'm saying you won't. I'm just saying that I kind of add an extra layer to the services, because I always come with a good heart. I always put you first and your interests first. I'm not really, obviously I'm in it for the money, because if not, I would just be on the street somewhere. But definitely that's not the first thing that comes to mind. I'm interested in your growth, in your empowerment, and hopefully in that process, we create magic, which is what we do here at Eda Rosa.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, 22 years and 7 years specifically in legal education. So.
Amazing. I just shared a video that I put out recently. Basically said one of the 5 secrets of being successful is to work with people who have been doing whatever that they've been doing for a long time versus being a guinea pig. 90% of vendors and different services that you see are people who are just kind of their first couple of years. And those at that stage, you're just essentially, if you become their client, you're a guinea pig. Versus if you find people that have been doing this for 5, 10, 20 plus years, they've stood the test of time. And those people are usually the ones that have optimized their value and their offering, what they bring to the table. Those are the people you want to work with, which is very obvious. If you're paralegal, 100% go speak to Eda. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Just go book a call.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate my own shout out, which I'm not used to, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. If I were you, I would take that clip and blast it. Because some people, they hear the value, but they don't hear the reason why they should come and speak.
That's true. Well, until justice is served, everybody, have a good one. Bye.